Welcome to the Mailbags preview of Cox Plate weekend at Moonee Valley. We're going to do the Cox Plate in detail. Then we're going to head over. We're going to go back in time to the Manikato on Friday night for a ripping Group 1 edition of the Manikato Stakes. This is all powered by puntingform.com.au. It's the Punting Form. Punting Form is the database that we all use, and you should too. Pistol Pete, my man, you Hutchins-looking, thick, beautiful boy. Second on my power rankings behind Cooper Curlio, who, fuck me, what a presence that young lad already has. Just in a photo, he dominates. Now, I'm thinking that's a pretty sort of energetic family. He's just sitting there zenned out, dominating.
He's a different unit. There's no doubt about that. He certainly walks to the beat of his own drum, the young fella. Fucking petrified to see what he's going to do when he gets older.
Hopefully he's doing it with us. There's already a job offer in for Cooper if he wants to leave school.
I'll give him a few more years, I reckon, Dicko. I'm not sure whatever the government legislation would allow us to hire a 12-year-old.
Yeah, we're not a global conglomerate like Nike or something.
But we might be soon.
We're on our way.
Dickens, Cox Plate, 2040, rain, forecast, both Friday and Saturday.
I don't think it's a lot of rain though, and who knows what happens. Let's not sort of. I'm not overly worried about it yet because there's not enough predicted, and
No.
we grade ourselves up relentlessly. I've banned Jackson from the bomb. I said, Jacko, my man, it's been an absolute like. He might be the greatest gambling mind I've ever seen. I love him. I'm very grateful to have him in my life, and now we've got him in the studio a little bit, doing a bit of work, and I'll look over every now and again. It always has the bomb up. Huge bomb man. Like I've never seen a man under the age of 45 who doesn't drink and smoke every day look at the bomb so much. Shout out Simo if you're watching.
Anyway, look, if you need to know the weather, just get on Twitter because there'll be 100 posts per hour.
There was a lot of sunrise posts, and it was a red sunrise. So I think it's red sky at night shepherds a lot. So red sky in the morning, I don't know what that means.
I was going to say, does anyone know what that means? I've got nothing.
Well, red sky at night shepherds a lot. I think that means it's going to rain tomorrow. So the shepherd's happy because his garden, which is a farm, is going to get watered.
Do we have shepherds anymore?
We used to.
Oh, look,
remember.
there is a higher than 50% probability of rain from 3 p.m. Friday through to 5 p.m. Saturday.
But how many millimetres is predicted? Sometimes they say there's 90% chance of rain, but it's going to be like 3 mil.
Yep. Who cares?
It basically just means that there's a 100% guarantee or probability
up to
that
10. Very
Elegant will firm between now and maybe 10 minutes before the race when everyone realises, oh shit, it hasn't rained, and they backpedal.
Up to 10 mils both days.
Let's start with the speed map, shall we? Because there's probably a few different ways you can approach this.
Yep.
I've gone with the old-fashioned way of just looking at the typical positions in run. Bit of a tongue twister. Positions in run for some of those imports. So I've got colour sign Mav, which is number 4. If you can't understand the word there, number 4 colour sign Mav rolling forward. Call sign.
Call sign.
I thought it was CALI. Yeah. I've got call. This is a great start. I've got number 4 call sign Mav rolling across with Zaki. They'll sit 1, 2. I think Probable and even Very Elegant can roll forward from 7 and 9 because there's not a lot of speed. Captivant can be closer here. Dalasan and Maunga there or thereabouts. I don't think Gold Trip has a stack of speed, and I doubt Ollie wants to dig it up overly. I think if it pings, it'll be close because it's going to be pretty easy to be close here. But if it's slow, it's going to be back and it's going to be buried. I think State of Rest and the most likely winner of this race, Animo, sells last.
Jack, just with Gold Trip, does it cross Captivant?
I doubt it. What do you think? Like, I don't think Ollie's going to jostle for position early. He doesn't do that.
No.
He sat on the horse twice or once. where it's not wound up, and like he's not going to want to dig this thing up. I listened to the commentary and he was like, apparently he switches on game day. There's no crowd there, so he has got Ollie screaming at him, but is he going to switch on? It's probably going to be. I don't know. I just don't think they're going to dig him up.
I think they have. Well, I shouldn't say have to, but like Captivant with no weight, low draw, surely give it a dig to settle close.
Yeah,
particularly on the speed, particularly with the lack of what looks to be obvious speed. I suppose my question was to try and map Gold Trip. Does Captivant coffin?
Yeah, well, it could. Yeah, I don't think Gold Trip could. I think Captivant could. Yeah, if it pings, Dean's going to kick up. There's not a lot of speed outside of Zaki and call sign Mav. So Probably I think gets a beautiful run. I think Very Elegance gets a nice run, but Very Elegance map gets a little bit messy if Captivant does kick up. But Dalasand's raced 1,200 metres in a Group 1 at Flemington. So, it's got some tactical speed, if it remembers it. Like, that horse needs a leather chair big time, doesn't it?
Yeah. So you're mapping Very Elegant and Animo last and second last in run?
No, I think Very Elegant will roll forward. I'm mapping State of Rest and Animo last. I don't think State of Rest has enough speed from that draw. I think these other horses will use the inside draws to make them go backwards.
Okay. So I can see Very Elegant.
I don't think John Allen's going to roll forward.
If you're saying Very Elegant's rolling forward, I see it 3 wide outside of Zaki, not settling whatsoever, and a decision have to be made to let it stride.
Yeah, but just because Captivant's got no weight doesn't mean it's necessarily going to jump and sit coffin. So they're going to jump here in front of the Legends Bar. They've got 200 metres, so they start to get to the winning post. They start to turn. So if Probable's a tactical professional horse, so is Very Elegant now. Those two are favourites to jump well and get those good spots. I think you're entitled to have faith that Very Elegant gets in, but it is a chance of being stuck 3 wide, going past the winning post, and being in an awful position because it will over race. I think Captivant either way is going to be coffin or one back, or coffin, which is behind leader, or 3 back the fence, which is behind that horse. I think that's the spots it's going to get. And I think it's going to have pretty fast horses in front of it either way, so it's going to get a good run if you like it.
I'll save my questions on the horses individually as we go through them.
Can I just point out Very Elegant, although it's been selling more forward, hasn't had a wider gate than 5 in its last 7, 8 starts.
And I found interesting. We can start with Zaki, and an interesting point is J-Max riding it and not Very Elegant. So that's a big push, I guess, for Zaki.
Yeah, is it?
Is it? I don't know.
That could have been decided months and months ago, and obviously Zaki was a world beater if you go back 3 starts, and then since then he's produced 2 lackluster performances in Victoria, going the different way.
Yeah, I think the negatives for this horse are the 2 Melbourne runs have been plain. That's the main. That's about the only negative for this horse. The positives are the map. It doesn't matter if like Linda Meach rode this horse or J-Mac or just about anyone. It's got the easiest. He just has to hold on here. There's not a lot of tactics here other than when does he let it go. If he's got heaps of horse, it's got a beautiful SP profile. It's done the usual platform of races. We saw Russian Camelot miss and fail in the exact same sort of preparation last year, and went absolutely fucking enormous in the Cox Plate. Was probably the run of the race. Settled on speed and a brutal speed and ran 3rd, I think. If you like Zaki, I can't talk you out of it. I just reckon what we've seen the Victorian way, which is what I'm going to focus on, isn't up to it, and therefore it makes the horse a huge risk at the price.
Couple of pieces of narrative, Jack, which I think were interesting. Particularly Caitlin Mallion's assessment of the horse. J-Mac's a bit eccentric, and so is Zaki, and that's why they get along so well together.
Does that mean we'll get along with Zaki as well?
Oh, fuck's sake, honestly. And like the other headline grabbing news was Annabelle Neesham's going to be on track.
Oh, wow. Well,
So when's she going to get there? I don't know, but I just seen a photo of her and Peter Snowden to say that they got their border passes. So great narrative. Look, I think you've got to start penning horses to find which one you want to be on and price accordingly. And like, you cannot be on this horse on its 2 runs the Victorian Way. It's going to take something out of the box to return this horse back to what it was doing.
I think it's a $4.40 chance. I think it'll drift.
Currently $2.80.
Yeah, so I'm obviously against it. I just think, I agree 100% with what you're saying. It is going to get the right run, and it does have a great SP profile. And, maybe third go Melbourne Way, it sort of pieces it together. If and when it won, it would be a lot of, okay, makes a little bit of sense. And maybe Annabelle came down and rubbed it, and it set it right again. Maybe it's missed Annabelle, I don't know. But
Miss James.
Well, I'm glad we worked that out in the end.
Isn't it fascinating that without the Sydney riders, because it's a disgraceful move that they were allowed to come before the states let out lockdown in Victoria. Fascinating though that without the Sydney riders, the Caulfield Cup turnover was up off last year. I don't know how that's possible because we didn't have the Sydney riders or the internationals.
Yep.
Fascinating.
Peter, do you have anything to add? We've covered 40 minutes of Zaki here.
Yeah, I don't care. Let's talk about a more interesting horse, Delasan.
Oh.
This clearly has to be the best roughie in the field for me. Maps perfectly. The Epsom run was, I thought, really good with J-Mac on. If you're looking at something to throw into multiples or exotics, I think this is your clear best option.
Well, I don't want to sound like a fuckwit here, but I do think 16 to 2,000 is its right trip.
Sound like a fuckwit.
But I do think this horse needs a leather chair, big time.
It's run third in the Epsom, the Doncaster, and the Queen Elizabeth. I know those aren't necessarily your greatest races of all time. The Queen Elizabeth wasn't, but the Doncaster and the Epsom, Sydney form, at big odds, all strong run races. Chuck him in, bro.
Look, I can't knock the horse. I can't knock what you're saying. It's going to get a great run. D Moore suits this map big time. He's still in good form, Daniel Moore. I just get confused by the horse. It was awful first half at Moonee Valley, but it was vetted pre-race, so I just forgive the run. Off last run, yes. I think you get a big price, and you can't I couldn't talk you out of it at a big price.
Honestly, it's going to get a great map, and it was beaten like half a length, very elegant over the same trip in the Queen Elizabeth that Pistol mentioned.
I think it starts hundreds, Curls, and then when it starts hundreds on the fair, what do? You have to sort of have something on.
Yeah.
I think it's a genuine $50, $60 chance in this race.
Number 3, Gold Trip, D. Oliver, Ma Oosters, first start, Australia.
My gut just wants to take this horse on because people seem to like it because it's the same profile as Sir Dragonet. It's like, my yearling's from the same sale as the last Golden Slipper winner, or fuck. What does that mean? I think it means nothing. I do think that the 3 imports have a big edge, and that is that they all seem to run a huge spike figure when they get here, and they all just fall off a cliff from there. We saw that with last year's winner. We see it with a stack of them. I don't like the map. I don't like the words that I heard on Racing.com's coverage on Tuesday morning.
What was that, sorry?
I think
I didn't hear the narrative.
He said something like they reckon the horse sort of wakes up a bit come race day. Like he could tell he's a good horse, but he couldn't really tell.
Well, he's won 1 race out of 10. So I know
I think he's a big risk, is what I'm saying. I think he probably... I think they're going to steam one of these horses. Curls, is that the Cobbers coming for Cooper? What's he done?
No,
it's
mine, Overwood.
Oh.
Northbridge. I Look, I've got some data from a couple of his efforts. Now, not benchmark data, but just sectional times and top speed. In the Juddmonte 2400 meter race, from the 1400 to basically from the 1400, he was like sub 12 seconds for each furlong home, including a top speed of 64 kilometers per hour from the 6 to the 2. Slightly tapering off over the last furlong, and that was over 2,400 metres. And then I've got some data here from his the 2,100 metre race that he contested. From the 6 to the finish, he went 11:55, 10.88, 11:42, top speed of 66 kilometres an hour when he ran that 10.8 200 metre sectional. So just on raw times, he obviously has got speed.
Yeah, well, you'd hope like they would have paid like, you know, 1 or 2, God knows what for it. And it's a Cox Plate. Most of them are going to have speed. Like Dallasan went 11.8, 11.68, 11.77 last start. They're all going to be pretty fast. I just reckon it's so hard to gauge. I trust those silks. I trust that profile.
Relatively lightly raced, 10 start, 1 win. That was in a Group 2. We've seen a lot worse horses come over and fucking win here.
Mm.
When the best horses in the race is potentially the 3-year-old. I don't know what price it starts.
It also is S. Pasquier off, D. Oliver on. So whatever that's worth, but I'm sure it's worth a couple of points.
Yeah. What price do you have it, Peter?
I'd say you just have it at the market rate. If the market comes for it,
exactly.
you follow it.
Yeah,
That's exactly what we've done with all the imports.
Yeah.
So
without being on course.
$10.20. Like the steam that came for Van Dyke in the Caulfield Cup last year, and for this horse, the Sir Dragonet in the Cox Plate, and then Tiger Moth, I think it was, top of my head. I can't remember that one as well. That they all ran enormous. One of them won. The other two could have won. Just let the market tell you. There's people with heaps more information than we're going to give you or you've got if you're watching this. And what they do with that information is they use it to bet, and they bet a heap in these big races. That it moves the market so drastically late that it's just, they do the work for you. Let them do it for you.
Yeah, if the Irish aren't betting this thing late, we're not betting it either. 4, call sign Mav, Luke Nolan, J.G.
I think it's immoral.
I think it can't win.
What, call sign? Or?
Yeah,
I just think leading a Cox Plate is not one of Luke's strengths. That's enough for me not to like the horse. Yeah, again, if it steams late, then I'm going to poo my pants. But
where's the form time with a horse that we've seen in Australia? We've got
Avantage,
3 back in the Waikato Sprint over 1400. Ran second to it.
Bell.
I feel like I was saying Gold Bracelet. I reckon I know that Melody Bell from somewhere too.
Yeah, there's a little some ties in there.
Yeah, move on.
I think Dallasan will beat at home.
So do I.
Okay, number 5, Mo'unga, 5th in the Epsom.
Oh, what do you do here? Gets a great run. Hugh rides the valley very well. That's one thing Hugh does. And thank God he's coming for turnover and narrative and yarn. But I think there's better horses than this in the race. I do think it's going to get a great run. I think it's closer to a sort of like a 30s chance. I think it drifts. I think this is one of the horses that's sacrificed for the international steamer, whichever one it is, in the market. I think you get a bigger price if you like it late.
Yeah, place chance for me, I'd be throwing it into exotics, which is probably the way I'm going to play the race. I think you just have to respect the map, and, you know, Hugh's obviously a superior jockey to to a lot of the rivals, shall we say.
Yeah. Fair.
Okay.
You make good sense again, Peter. You often do.
I know. Watch out for that. It's concerning. Very Elegant, number 6, D Lane on board, drawn 9, CJ Waller, Uncle Chris. I think they ride it colder, personally. I think he will be towing along, chasing anything. I think Damien would have learnt from what he did last start in that fast tempo race behind Incentivise. But I'm also prepared to concede it SP favourite against Incentivise, and what SP would he have if he was in this race? That would have been absolutely cracking.
Yeah, I think the same stuff. I think it runs top 3. I think it's a huge player. I think the SP profile against Incentivise that completely put a hole in the Caulfield Cup and will go very close in Melbourne Cup is a big thing here. But the market wanted to be with this horse to beat that horse. I think D Lane suits wide draws and sitting 3 wide for a bit. He's very good at it. He's a very, very, very good rider. Doesn't panic. He gives you that consistent sort of level. There's not many that do that. It's like him and Ollie basically give you pretty consistent rides. If you like this horse, I think it runs top 3, and I'm probably not going to be with it because it's so tight now. But
yeah. That's the issue, isn't it? It's very tight at the moment, $5.
Yeah, I think it's a fair. So it's its right price.
Yep.
Great horse, champion.
Look, I watched its gallop on Tuesday. I didn't actually comment on Twitter, so apologies. I couldn't get a word in. I think it galloped with the tongue tie on, and I noticed that the tongue tie goes on for the first time. Now, what I was interested in watching with that gallop, I wanted to see if it had a tongue tie on the gallop for a start. It did.
How did you do that? Did you take a photo of the TV on pause and zoom in, or what?
Just watch it with your eyes, and then when you see that thing hanging off the tongue, how they tie it down,
yeah, don't whisper. Yeah,
it looks like a tongue tie on. So the question will be, it hasn't got a great head carriage, half mongrel mad going thing anyway, right? So if he's going to be exposed 3 wide, potentially getting a little bit keen and trying to have to restrain her back, or is he going to try and half miss the start and go back and get cover and get her to drop her head? Because if she's out wide, exposed and over racing a little bit and resenting that tongue tie a little bit, and he has to try and snag back to get cover, I think it's race over. I think it can't possibly run a place. So I'm not talking about the track gallop of, oh, geez, it's ran 13.2 from the 6 to the 4 and just past the school there, it did this and changed stride beautifully. I was just looking at its head carriage and if it resented it, looked okay. I think the first 200 metres will determine its chances. I think if it's exposed and wanting to go quicker, it's dead.
Yeah, I think it's like it sort of won the Caulfield Cup like it was always going to go very close, and the barrier really helped it. It got a great run, and it was thereabouts on the corner sort of thing. I agree. If they go back, which they're a big chance of doing, it diminishes. If it comes home quicker than Animo, I'd be very, very surprised.
Mm.
But if it settles 1 back, 1 off, and he takes off,
yeah,
I don't think this horse will stop. I think it's one of the hardest trying horses that's ever existed, just about. She is a proper beast.
Mm. Yeah, maybe I'm reading too much into it. I'm just trying to find an angle to settle on, which way I want to go.
Okay, Probabile, number 7, B Preble, Jason Richards. Current price, $14. Seen the horse perform on soft, but it probably won't want too much rain.
How is this $14? I don't know how this isn't closer to Very Elegant and closer to Zaki. It beat it last start. It was SP. It would have SP'd favourite in last year's Cox Plate. It gets a fucking gun run from the informed Brett Preble. If Animo wasn't in this race, I'd be pounding this thing, and I'm still going to back it. I just think this is going to get every possible. I think the horse is absolutely airborne. It beat non-conformers last start, who ran second in Caulfield Cup last week. The form is spot on. If anyone wants to back Zaki and doesn't back this thing, you're on drugs.
And we mean that
hallucinogenic drugs, yeah, like mushy sort of gear. Because this thing like the SP profile for knocking off Zaki last start, there's not much difference. You know, you're going $1.30 to still favourite, and you're going $8 to 14s. And the way the market's trending, you might get sort of 20s. It's a joke. It's wrong.
Yeah, it's a winning position for me.
I think this horse will run top 2 just about, and is a great bet if you don't want to back Animo, or if you haven't
But
already.
you don't bet today.
No,
because there's
certainly
no
not.
need to.
Yeah.
Because if we do get that rain,
Yeah.
If the predicted precipitation hits,
could run last.
It's more
Which
the
is
rain
always
during.
big if.
Yeah, it's the rain during the card, isn't it? We saw that in All-Star Mile Day where it SP'd favourite, but that was real sloppy in the lead up to that run, and beaten 13 lengths.
and even that day, Peter. Like I'm just looking at .com, and I've got a bit of I've got Bossy doing sit-ups. Honest to God, narrative yarn.
I'm glad you're put up with this shit now.
Oh, now he's on the beach, hands on his hips, just soaking it in.
All right, stop talking about Bossy.
Cash. Sorry. Even on that day when I was in deep love with Russian Camelot, and he was the parade of the All-Star Mile. This thing was just a glorious, beautiful animal.
She's a professional.
She is gorgeous. She is just a great horse. I think she's going to run a huge race. I think she's the best value, best roughie in the race.
Okay, number 8, State of Rest for Johnny Allen, Joseph O'Brien. Last start at Saratoga in the US. But before that, it's obviously been racing around in Ireland.
He suits the horse. If you watch the way it was ridden last start, it looked like John Allen was riding it. Barrier 8 suits John Allen. I don't like John from inside draws. I love him from outside draws. I reckon this is the potential steamer
I agree.
of the internationals. I think that John suits. I think there's a lot of boxes that are ticked here. I reckon from that barrier, that stable and John, you're going to be settling near last. So you just want to make sure you can run on. But I'd be very I'll be watching the market on this horse. I might have a secondary dynamic screen up just on the Cox Plate for most of the day, just watching for this horse to be backed.
Fascinated to understand which boxes this horse ticks. Apart from Joseph O'Brien, I'm completely fucked how I could possibly find it.
So it's won a Group 1 last start, which is pretty good. And it's a non-Australian Group 1, so it's every chance it's actually a genuine Group 1 because they don't have sort of like 45,000 a year.
Where did it win at?
Saratoga, America, on the turf, and he got into his work. The rider got real like John Allen-y about it. It looked like John Allen. I just think.
Oh yes.
I think there's a bit to like about this horse. I think the price is fair. It's that sort of price where it might start sort of $6. It's the one they come for. I'd have it in my 4 numbers if we were on, the radio or the TV. It'd be one of my 4 numbers. It'd be Animo, Probable, Very Elegant, and then this thing.
Yeah, okay.
Speaking of Animo.
Great narrative too. Great narrative with the Australian sire. Anyway, sorry.
Maybe that's why they brought it down. Animo, number 9, C. Williams, James Cummings, drawn 10, $4.80, best available Thursday morning.
I just can't wait to see Willow's face and how gaunt it is at 49.5 when he gets interviewed after winning this race. I think this thing's an absolute fucking bet and a half. It's a beautiful, beautiful placement of this horse. They dominate this race to 3 odds normally. This is better than most of them. Seamus Award was wide and good in the Guineas, and then came out and won well in a Cox Plate. This horse run the biggest Guineas figure since punting form was existed. Like, it loses to Oliver, but it cops Craig Williams. It's a simple map, Craig. You're going to go back to last. Just don't wait too long.
Is there a small wrinkle that most of the 3-year-olds that have performed in Cox Plates over the years...
This is all we get on. One of the words I wanted to bring to the show today was wrinkle.
There it is. We didn't even talk about that pre-race.
Didn't even talk about it, yeah.
But is there a small concern that most of the 3-year-olds that have performed over the years have been on pace?
That's a great question. I was going to bring that up.
Yeah, there is. But then I think this is like the best 3-year-old that's competed in recent time.
Yeah.
And I just think that the smaller field is a positive. I think the way the map looks is a positive. Those inside draws are going to kick up and show some intent. I just think he sits outside, like when he's in run, he's sitting there just humming along. He's outside, or got John Allen inside of him, and then what's he got? Like maybe he's got Hugh on Mwanga, you know, D Moore on Dallasan. I don't think D Moore's going to take off early. I think he's going to be able to peel 3-4 wide line past the school.
No, I think this is going to be a Castelvecchio type ride.
Goes forward.
No, like takes off early.
Yeah, that's what I think too.
Yeah.
I think he'll hit the front before they hit the straight, sort of thing.
Yeah.
Okay. Number 10.
And I think he'll could be, and this is why also, Peter, is because of number 10 drawn inside him. He won't want him to be going and got to catch him. I think he'll want to take off and force Dean to either make a play for it or follow him.
Okay. Captive on number 10. Drawn 1. Dean Yendall, the Snowden camp.
Is this another one of those, if you like this, you've got to be on this scenario? There's about 4 of them in the race.
Yeah, a little bit. What do you think of barrier 1 though? Like,
I'd be inclined to think it's a negative by the second last race of Cox Plate weekend, but
yeah,
you know, you can decide on the day at this price.
I think the price is pretty fair. I think you might get a slightly bigger price, but I think this is sort of a top 4, top 5 chance. If we go 5 numbers, it'll be my 5th number. I think that it's going to get a really economical run, and just if he lands in the coffin and Anamo's last, the sphincter will tighten slightly.
Okay. All right. So, what's the staking plan?
Yeah.
Have 200 on Animo at the 480 available right now, and just have, say, 50 or thereabouts on number 7, Probable. But I want to hold that 50 for like a soft 6 or better.
Okay, so you're not placing it on Probable just yet. So, what we'll
Is that fair to do?
We'll go best.
Show?
Well,
Let me 50.
Yeah, I'll just have 200 on Animo. I think he's a cert. I think he's going to run such a big race. I've backed him a few times. I've tried to get everything into this horse. I love this horse. I think it's going to win.
I'm going to put my numbers on the record here. Box trifecta and first 4, 2, 3, 9, and 10.
Which
one of them? I'll be Dallasan, Gold Trip, Animo, Captive on.
Okay.
Just for the record, you pistol.
Animo, Very Elegant, Dallasan to place, obviously, and whichever is firmer between Gold Trip and State of Rest.
See, and this is why this is such a great race, and it's a great race every single year.
I'm copying out.
Not one of us has got the favourite in our numbers.
Yeah, but I've been against the favourite the last 3 starts, I think.
I know, but I love the Cox Plate.
It's the greatest race.
Yeah, it is. It's the greatest race on the calendar.
If you strip back hype, narrative, bullshit, and bravado from every race across the country, this is the best race.
Yeah.
Year in, year out.
Yeah. Next year, hopefully, we'll be on course for it. Don't want to get too far ahead.
I don't really wish that.
Hey, well, I don't know if I'm ever going to leave here, to be honest. And you might not want to wear the Pete once you finally get back.
I guarantee I would not be opting for the bunker, no matter how good it is, over being down the valley.
Yeah, don't call it the bunker, please.
Is that because you're not making any judge calls or decisions in there? It's more like
it's a bit more sunlit than a bunker, you know.
Oh.
I don't know.
Let's talk about the Manikato race 7 Friday night at the Valley.
Briefly.
Yeah. But because the map is a little bit chaotic, to say the least.
Let me just please stand by, and I'll get you I'll do it all.
I've got this race pinned, pistol. This is pretty straightforward. The only issue with this race is it's after the advertised start time. It's 7 minutes till the Sunshine Coast, so I'm hoping the race is over by then.
Are you suggesting that perhaps this isn't a true Group 1 weight for age contest, Shane Curlio?
No, it is a Group 1 contest, and there's a Group 1 horse in it.
There's a
and it'll
Group
be
1 winner.
leading and winning.
There's a Group 1 winner here, and just a bit like the Sydney jockeys and the non-internationals, it'll prove how sort of irrelevant it all is, and how the patting on the back that goes on all the time about wagering dollars is short-sighted, because people at the moment are betting on anything.
Mm-hmm.
And what they've done to this race is a disgrace. What the industry as a whole has done to this race is a disgrace. It's a disappointing race to look at, isn't it, for a Group 1 on a big night? Should be like one of the greatest weekends in sport, and we're all playing the same sport, and we're cannibalising each other, and it's very, very short-sighted and dumb.
I thought you were going to break into Mark Thompson there. You. All of you.
Well, it's isn't it stupid?
Oh, completely. You're 100% right.
The amount of weeks where there is absolutely nothing to do in this sport of anything other than just like bet and bet and bet and bet. And when you want narrative and you want yarn, here it is. Like,
oh, what could have been but wasn't. All right, Dickens, what's the bet?
and like the bat, did you know the Everest is up 25% in wagering dollars this year, allegedly?
Great.
Like, what kind of journalism is that? Allegedly, we don't have a source. We're not going to show the source, but like,
PVL told me. PVL
he told me, mate. No, he wouldn't lie about that sort of shit. No, definitely, mate. 100%. Ridgy Ditch, mate. Ridgy Ditch. 25%, mate.
It's the people that are paid to write this that makes this game so easy for fucking idiots like us.
I know, but like, wouldn't you go home and just go, I'm sick of this. I can't do this. I can't keep doing this.
Mate, well, they're not going to get a job anywhere else, and they're fucking not skilled enough to make it on their own. End of fucking rant.
Yeah. Well. Anyway, what was once, and I am sure will be again a great race, the Manikato. There's too much money in this city and in this town for it not to get its fair share, and should have been a much better race. Savatoxy will lead. Lombardo and Crystal Bound there or thereabouts. Crystal Bound, D. Thornton, I reckon he snicks. He's probably worse than 1A. Probably Coffin could even be worse. Jonker wants to roll forward. I think he probably tries to get a little bit of cover. I think he gets a little bit pretty because he's got the good barrier. He's not going to dig, so he's going to get crossed.
It'll go straight to the front.
I don't think he will. La Mexicana. Do you want to have a slab on that? Just on the selling position. Doesn't settle in the first two.
Yes.
Look, your screen is frozen. La Mexicana wants to roll forward, but as we know, D-Lane doesn't hate sitting 3 wide, no cover on the speed. Streets of Avalon's a leader, but this is going to be a pretty fast race for him, so I don't know where he gets to. I think he's half cast. Away game, I think, has to dog the contest. Bella Nipotina should have won last start. Too pretty on it. It'll be worse than midfield, rails in run. Sneaky Five, Swats out and Grey Shedding, and Express Pass bring up the rear. I'm not saying this because it's a low type of Group 1, but this is almost impossible to bet into just because of this speed map at Moonee Valley. They're going to hoon, and that speed map I just gave you could be so wrong it's not funny. Whereas other maps I'll be quite confident in how I see it, or the horse I want to back like Animo, I don't care, it's going to be last. This speed map, like we're having a bet on Jonker, I can't believe the horse is favourite. I think Lombardo is the most likely winner of the race.
Oh, it's a shame to hear, Jack. Jonker will lead, and I'll tell you why. Is because, like, the fuck was Nash doing trying to ride it with cover last start? This is a fucking speed horse that needs a bend. Speed horse on the bend. I want to go back to its listed win back, I think it was last year. I tweeted after it won that it'll win.
The 14th of the 11th.
Yeah, I think I tweeted after that win that it'll win the Doomben 10,000 off that run. Just sustained speed. That's what it'll get. There won't be no fucking handing up riding it pretty here. It'll cross the 3 inside it. It'll be first to the fence. And it'll be... I'll be collecting the slab of goats. Whether it wins or not, I don't know. But I think a repeat of that... I reckon a repeat of those Doomben efforts fucking puts it like hard to get past. Obviously, a lot to go on between now and race day. Like, how the fuck do you know how the track's going to play if it doesn't rain? Is it going to be like leaders firm, rail, can't get past the leader day? Yeah.
I just thought like the bomb-proof map horse is probably Lombardo or Jonker. If Jonker tries to lead, I'm going to fucking lead. I don't care.
Surely they're not.
I'm going to lead.
Surely they're not handing up.
I'm going to lead. Well, he might get taken on and they'll get chew themselves up. If they do that, maybe sneaky five, maybe ingratiating will sort of fly over the top late. But
very possible. But you still owe me a carton, so who gives a fuck?
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Impossible race to bet in, but agree with that. But I've already had a bet. John could have settled first too.
Yeah, impossible race to bet into, but we've found a way. We're betting on settling positions. Guys, that's the show, isn't it?
What does Pistol think about the Manikato?
Swat's
Screen's
that?
frozen again.
No. Swat's that was the one that I was looking at.
Elaborate.
Just going back to the William Reid, the horse had a very similar SP to Masked Crusader, who was blessed in run. That was a heavy rails on day. Pike was on the rail, went straight up the inside and gapped them. On that occasion, Swat's that was back worse in midfield, similar SP, only beaten 4 lengths. I think the horse has probably improved since then. So around $20, I'm going to have a stab at Swat's that with the goat on board. Plenty of speed up front.
I just love the way you go about it.
You can just stick
You've
it back.
almost talked me into backing it. It's going to get the race put on for it, isn't it?
Well, that's what it looks like. Unless, of course, they all think the same thing and they just go, oh, no, you go forward. You go forward. No, you go forward. No, you were there first. That's okay.
It's 1 from 2 this track and trip. Yeah. The one time it was beaten this track and trip was behind Masked Crusader, who's probably like an old snostril off being the best sprinter in this country, which is what we do. We produce sprinters, and he's probably the top 2 sprinter in the country.
Yeah, and she was in a good one last start.
Mailbag's tip for the race is Swat's that. Have a great weekend, guys. Buy some product. Head to the mailbag.com.au. Support us. There's merch. There's a lot of free content now. The interns are just revving, really revving. You got NBA, NFL. We've got betting. Where you betting, Pete? Ascot? Or are they going to Northern? They are going to Ascot?
I hope so.
What a state. Great Wall of McCowan. Betting Ascot. We're betting all over Queensland on Saturday. Shane, whereabouts are we betting?
Jack, we have Brisbane is Doomben Saturday, Aquas Park at Gold Coast, and then Toowoomba Saturday night. Which will make, as soon as I get off here, I'm having a shower. I'm going to Gatton. So by the time Toowoomba Saturday night rolls around, I would have bet Toowoomba Tuesday, Ipswich Wednesday, Gatton Thursday, Sunshine Coast Friday night, sunny Gold Coast Saturday, Doomben Saturday, Toowoomba Saturday night. I would have done 7 meetings since Tuesday, and I fucking love it.
Same. We're betting Ballarat today. We bet 4 races already at Ballarat. Like, I never thought I'd say that, but we have. We've got Echuca tomorrow, a couple of maidens to look at. Then we've got Manikato night on Friday night. We've got Cox Plate Day Saturday, and we just to calm it all down, we've got a beautiful sale meeting on Sunday.
And
so,
if you're interested in Manikato night, you'll be appearing on.
Are you having a stroke?
No, I was leading you into.
What is? I'm confused, man.
Oh, didn't you say you were going to be doing some RSN work, or is that?
Yeah, I think I am.
Oh.
I'm not sure though.
Okay, we'll
Hasn't actually been confirmed.
All right.
No, I think I am. Let's say I'm on RSN on Friday night. We think.
That's how we roll.
Yeah. God bless you. Bet with us. God bless you.